Hello and welcome to my channel on human design. Well, today we're going to look at the roof phase for the sixth line from this question that I've received from a 6-3. So this is from Ella. What do you think is the roof phase of a 6-3 generator? What does it really mean? Just stand and observe, reflect about life? Thank you for that question, Ella. So let us look at the roof phase, first of all, for the 4-6 and the 6-2. You're going to have this separation, this sense of you're almost like witnessing your life, but not so much in it. There's a sense of being detached. It's usually a new life, a whole new kind of life. Now, this is the same in a way for the 6-3 and the 3-6, but it's different, and I'll come to that. So imagine what it's like for all 6 lines. You know, you begin in the first part of your life. Instead of having the 6 as in the 6-2, you're a 3-2. You know, there's a mutation involved in the experiential side, finding out by trial and error. Same for all 6 lines. But with the 4-6 and the 6-2, they do get this relief in a way, and that they do feel this detachment. And when you're thinking about what this phase is, it's the Saturn return. So it's like you go out into Saturn and you find out what your limits are about. You find out what life is about for you. You find out, you know, it's different. It's different to this growing phase where there's a lot of intensity. There's a lot of trial and error. Very often with 6 lines, there's a lot of broken trust. So it's like, you know, getting over that. I would even go as far as to say there's a certain kind of wounding that can happen for 6 lines. I have known a number that have left their first stage behind up until the roof stage, and they've got scars on their body, and they can also have emotional and mental scars, you know, from trust issues, from them trying to be perfect. It's a kind of a movement towards trying to be perfect if you're a 6th line, and in that first stage you try to live it out. But of course, you know, it's not about perfection. It's ultimately about you being you, and at that point you're not ready. It is a long-term maturing process, and it's really not until 50 where you can actually move out into the living of it, where the 6th lines in you all kind of reach a kind of maturity, and you do yourself. So until that point, you can find out what it is to be you, what it is to be different to others in terms of being a role model of yourself. It's not there to try to be a role model for everyone else. It's about living your life, being you. You know, what is that? And it's from this second stage when you begin to become more objective. It's no longer deeply subjective. It's no longer rooted in trial and error and, you know, going out there and trying to make it happen and trying to be perfect, because it didn't work. It doesn't work. What are you going to try and be perfect about? Trying to fit into some collective image or idea that's out there, and they call it, whoever they are, call it perfection, or they want you to, you know, this is the dream or whatever. Well, all well and good, but if you try and live it, it ain't gonna work for you. So there is this detachment, there is this moving into a new life. So for a lot of 6 lines, it can be getting married, it can be having children, it can be moving to a different country, it can be getting involved in a career that didn't exist in the first stage. Whatever it may be, it's a new kind of life. And it's in the living of that life and the objectivity that comes, the detachment that comes, that enables you to actually see yourself in a different way, how you are different, you know, what you're not going to get involved with. The 6th line is there to be the role model in terms of their objectivity at this stage. So just because a friend may be upset about something and they're blaming another friend of yours, you can say, it was down to you. You should have done that. You're blaming them, but they will be objective. They'll tell you the way they see it. But they have to move into that first. They have to have that detachment. They have to get objective first and see more of the bigger picture. And it's only through the roof stage, which is a 20-year period, that they get that kind of perspective. Now, it's different for the 3/6s and the 6/3s, because they also get detached and they also go up on the roof. They don't stay there. The 3/6 and the 6/3, they're both highly mutative. So we've got a very highly mutative profile operating, the third line and the objectivity. But still, there is a third line. There is the trial and error. There is the having a go. There is seeing it not work. So in the detachment phase for the 6/3, to answer your question directly, you're up on the roof and you're going, okay, I'm just not going to have any more to do with any of that. What's going on down there? That looks good. And you come down the roof back into the world. Back into the world. You're not detached from the world now. You're coming down the ladder to try that new thing that you found so appealing. And that doesn't work. And you go up again on the roof and go, what a waste of time that was. But there's still going to be this draw to mutation, draw to something that could tempt you down. And it does. You can't get completely free of the world in that sense, in the way that the 4/6 and the 6/2 can. That protective objectivity and that distance from the experiencing of their life in the world, you don't have that as a 6/3, not all the time. You're coming back into the world and then up again and then back into the world and then up again. So it's an ongoing mutative process. It's an ongoing trial and error theme that runs through you. And don't forget, there are people like me that are the 1/3s and the 3/5s. There are other third lines out there in the profile that never get away from the trial and error either. Whatever they do, no matter how much they learn, they're still going to make mistakes. They're still going to have a go. And when you have a go at something, you don't know whether it's going to work or not. That's part of the fun of it. I mean, you might not find it fun, but you certainly learn a lot. And you learn experientially. And in that sense, the 6/3 and the 3/6, as they move through their process, as they move through their second and their third stage, there is, I've noticed, a kind of a hard, no-nonsense edge to them. They're not going to put up with someone saying, oh, we could do this. And you go, no, that's not going to work. I've tried it. No, I'm not going to waste my time in that area at all. It's like, been there, done that, not interested in it. Not interested in putting my energy into something that's going to collapse under me again, So when they do find something that is for that, then you've got someone who is actually very good at being able to hold the line from where they're coming from, because they know it, because they've experienced it. Like all 6 lines, they don't want to be involved in something unless it's got a point. They're not going to tell you things that they may know, because they know that you're not going to do anything about it. It's a waste of breath. So that's the difference. It is highly mutative. It is also chaotic. And having said that, I have really enjoyed all the 3/6s and the 6/3s that I've met, because they are kind of, the chaos and the wisdom together. It's rather wonderful, I find, because they have had different experiences and they have got their own perspective on it. And they're still in process and they're still moving and mutating and growing through the experience of their lives. It is the way it is. You get some distance, but you don't stay there for long, because the world will pull you back again, whatever you think, whatever you may imagine you can do. The profile really is something that you can recognize in everybody. It's like the sun signs in astrology. I mean, there's only 12 of them, but you really get a a framework for the way that person operates through it. So it's a very good indicator. So that's what I wanted to say to you about the 6-3. There, it's more objective. There is this distance, but you're not going to hang about being detached for that long, because you'll be tempted back in again. And it'll give you that edge, and it'll give you that experience, and it'll give you that strength. You know, I've known a number of 6-3s that have been addicts in their middle stage, you know, but they've got through it. They've really learned it. A number of them I know have gone to Alcoholics Anonymous and actually become people that have helped other people through getting off the alcohol. You know, there's a wisdom there. So it's not something for you to fight against, is what I would say, because it is the way it is. And human design really is the science of this is the way it is. And it is best to accept it, because what the hell are you going to do? There's nothing you can do. Which brings me to the second part of your question or comment. You say, also, I really wonder why most systems always point towards something so alienating, different for me. As in numerology, I am a life path 11. In Destiny Matrix, my center is NR13-death, change transformation. In MBTI, it's all INFJ, human design 6-3 generator. In astrology, North Node Capricorn in 12th, and a Uranus, Moon, Neptune rising in Capricorn in 1st. I think we all have our place in this world, and we are all living our life, trying our best. But I feel so singled out. I really do. What can I tell you, Ella? You have to suck it up. You know, it is the way it is. You didn't give me your birth details, so I don't know your chart. I can't make any comment. I can't go in there and explain, because I don't have the data. But what I would say is, you are who you are. Your design is your design. And if there are a number of systems, and I don't know all the ones that you just mentioned, if there are numbers of systems pointing out of you being different to the others, well, you have to accept that. And it's not like it doesn't have to be a burden. As a 6-3, it's for you to live out your unique life. It is for you to stand apart from everybody else as someone who is genuinely authentic in the way that they live their life. And in that sense, the 6th line carries with it the themes of the role model or the hypocrite. You know, is it do as I say or do as I do? And that is part of a really strong learning, you know, to let go of all the hypocrisy, of letting go of all the I'm this and I'm that. You are you. If I could think of any theme for the 6th line in its maturing process, it is the ability to simply be. That's it. To just be you. And finding out who you are through the experiences that you have, through the connections that you make, through the life that you lead, is what it's all about. And it's not all negative. It's just the way it is. So I would, if I were you, I would do my best to embrace your chart, embrace the fact that you are different, and not see it as a burden. To see it as your own specific edge and perspective that you can share with others and help them from your perspective because of who you are. Anyway, I hope that answered your question, and thank you for asking it. And our final question is from Scarlet Songs, and this is her question. I have a question regarding my defined head in Ajna. I'm very aware of my thinking around other people because I'm influential here. But how does it actually work? In a room where I know I'm the only one who is defined, should I watch my thinking more? As in, if I'm thinking something that's negative or insulting or inappropriate, should I gently redirect and try to pay attention otherwise? And if I'm with people who are aware of HD and open here, are my thoughts basically exposed to them since they're thinking what I'm thinking? It feels like quite the responsibility. I understand we're all responsible for ourselves only, but I just want to feel a little more relaxed about what's going on in my head and how it affects others. Thank you. Scarlett, I would calm down about this. I would calm down about this. I have an open head and an open ajna, and when I'm with a fixed head and an ajna, and ideas come through, I think they're mine. I don't think you're thinking them. I think they're mine. And it can also be a connection with other people that have the other end of a channel that I've got, who have the 11, for example, to my 56. So I don't immediately think, those are the people, those I'm thinking their thoughts. You may be thinking that because you know you're the only one, but no one else really thinks about it. No one else really thinks about it. They're not used to thinking about that. And people in HD, they're involved in what's going on in their own mind, whether you're influencing them or not. So don't worry. They're not all going to turn on you and go, I'm thinking negative thoughts. It's your fault. Calm down. Calm down. Just relax. There's when you're with a group of people, there's a kind of an auric, a transauric effect of all the auras coming together in the penta. So again, it's different than if you're in just one-on-one. And if you're one-on-one, you're going to be there to inspire them, and they'll be grateful for you. So do not worry. They cannot see into your head and see the thoughts coming up and go, well, look, I'm only having these thoughts because of Scarlett. Don't worry about it. Relax. It's not a great responsibility. Just drop it is my advice. It's all right. And remember, those open heads and open ajnas, they have to speak something. They have to bring it out in order for you to recognize that it's what you're thinking. And not everything will be. We don't know what the transit of the day will be that will maybe be affecting their ajna or maybe connecting their head in some way. So it's not all down to you. Don't take any responsibility for other people are thinking. Just live your life and watch and learn and grow wise from what you see happening around you, and don't worry about it. That's my advice. All right, well, I hope that was helpful, and I hope, viewers, you've enjoyed this one. And if you have, please like, share, and subscribe. And I will be back again very soon with something completely different. I'll see you then. Bye for now.